The anthems have been played and we are ready to go from the nation's capital. Tampere, Washington, game number 1, round number 2, Southwest Conference Final is going to begin right now. In the draw, Drake Batherson and Ryan Getzlaff for their respective teams. In the cage for Washington, it's Vitek Vanacek, and for Tampere, it's Marc-Andre Fleury. We are underway from the nation's capital. Washington had played it into the Tampere zone. The Ilves are able to dump it all the way down the ice behind the net of Vitek Vanacek. Back into the Tampere end it comes. Jari Curry was there with a little support from Rasmus Dahlin. To the blue line it comes and out. Dahlin with Curry. They've got a breakaway here. Curry turns it the opposite way of where his team was needing it to go. Shot all the way down by Washington, just wide of the net. Puck comes to neutral ice. Now at the blue line. Into the offensive zone come the Ilves. In the corner to the blue line. Washington trying to clear it out of their defensive end. Haven't quite yet. Now Tampere has it the other way. Off the post. It's on the goal line. It's in. They score. It's Jari Curry, the man who made the mistake earlier in the game on the breakaway. Now has Tampere up by 1 early.
And that's a quick start, exactly how the Ilves drew it up. You want to take the home crowd out of it, and it's just a fluky one that slides across the line. It hit, you just throw it on net, and good things happen. It hits the post and just trickles in, and just like that, the Ilves have the Nationals on their heels.
Throw it on net indeed, and that's exactly what the Ilves did. That's what they were doing all series long against Jeremy Swayman and the Boston Riptide. And everything that hit the net ended up going in. Here's a chance for Washington to answer back. A big save there by Fleury. Washington not used to playing from behind. They only lost 1 game in that series with Indianapolis as that puck goes flying up and out of play. Now, 1 game was a comeback game. I believe it was 3-1 Indy at one point. Washington came all the way back, shot right on, off the face-off, hits the post. Washington was down 3-1 against Indianapolis in one of those games. They came back to win that game 4-3 in overtime. So, would not overly surprise me if Washington climbs back into this one. It is early, and it is in their home building. Remember back to last season, folks, the Washington Nationals made it all the way to the NSHL Cup final. Or that's what it was called last year, the Stanley Cup. This year, the rebranded Intercontinental Cup. So, getting past the conference finals is nothing new to Washington, but they have to get through that series to do so. Last year, we only had 2 rounds of hockey. This year, it's 3 with an expanded number of teams in the league and an expanded playoff format, allowing 4 teams from each division in an 8-team conference into the playoffs rather than just 2 teams into the playoffs from each conference in a 3-team division. Halfway through.
By the way, the Washington Nationals were also, I believe, the first-seeded team in the Southwest Airlines Conference, so they know how to win games. It's just a matter of time. But the Tampere Ilves were also pretty hot for those first couple of weeks, and they had that top spot. We'll see if they can get back to that. As that looked like it went through.
You might want to check that.
We're going to take
Definitely
a look at that.
check that. I got a good angle of that, and I got it clipped too.
I did too. I think this might be a goal.
That one's gonna, I think so. I think this one's going to count. Let's see.
I got to pull it up on stream.
Absolutely, this one's going to count. That one went in legally. I have the perfect angle of it. That is a good goal. This is a 2-0 hockey game, folks. That one hits the back of Kemper's feet. May glance off the post, but it enters the net and just slides right through. This definitely should be a 2-0 hockey game.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. There it is up on stream. So let's take a look. Of course, I'm behind where I need to be. Because why wouldn't I be? There we go. So they send it in across the line. And right off the back of goaltender Vitek Vanacek, plain as day, that puck goes in, ends up going through the back of the net, and I believe now we just gotta look back at what time it crossed the line. Time on the clock read 8:28 from my feed, so from stream feed it said 8:28 was left on the clock.
Yes, that is right. That's what it says on mine too.
So 8:28 remains to go. Review away goal, because this was an away goal. We're going to, before we resume the time here, not do that. Add the seconds back on the clock there, and bring us back to correct scene. This, once again, just throwing the puck on the net. Good things happen. And this is a 2-0 hockey game.
Looks like it's either Josh Manson or Jean-Gabriel Pajot is going to get credit for this one. I believe it's going to be Josh Manson. Yeah, I believe he'll get credit. Scoring summary earlier in the game, right? Yari Curry unassisted. This one might read Josh Manson unassisted. We were talking about division champions earlier, and the Washington Nationals have finished first place in both seasons in their division in the regular season. Both years that they have been a team. Here's a chance right at the draw. Saved there by Toskala. Rebound kicked away by Vesa Toskala, former Toronto Maple Leaf goaltender. Not a very good one, but former. So that one is played up and out of play at the 7:38 mark of period number 1. Shot 7-4 in favor of the Washington Nationals. Another face-off draw, one put right on net by the Nats. That one slid wide. Scoring summary will read Josh Manson unassisted, just like we kind of thought it would. The Washington Nationals, like we said earlier, both seasons that they have existed in the NSHL, they have won their division. Last season, finishing first in the regular season, and they were in the PPG Paints division last season with the Denver Pylons. Oh, they score!
There's a third goal!
The corner. Is that one gonna count? I didn't get I got a decent look at it. I was up top.
You want to look?
You might want to review that one. Yeah, I want to look at it because I was in the corner. Let's just see. No, that one's gonna count too. That one got kicked into the... Yeah, that one's going to count. That one got kicked into the crease, and it went off the back of Darcy Kemper's stick and right into the back of the net. There was a whole cluster at the net, so I just wanted to be sure that that one for sure is going to count. It's going to be a 3-0 Ilves game.
Unfortunate.
Do you want me to send you, or are you good?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yep, just good goal.
I didn't see anything wrong with it in the first place.
Yeah, I just wanted to check because I was up in the air and there's just a big horde right at the side of the net, and I didn't see a hit off of Kemper, so I just wanted to be sure.
Just gonna make sure that stream can see it because I wasn't sure, but yeah, this one very clearly goes in right there. So. After video review, we got a good goal. It's going to be Brett Pesce getting it. Just like that, Washington finds themselves in the same situation they were in, I do believe, in Game 3. Was it in the last round? Down by 3?
I believe it was Game 3. If I go back and take a little look-see here. Let's see, Washington. No, I think it might have been Game 5. No, that was when they won. 6-1. Yeah, it might have been Game 3 because I was in Indianapolis. Shot right on, saved there by Toskala.
I believe it's the game that went to overtime because they were down by 3, came back to tie it.
Yes, that was the overtime game. Was game number 3. That was when they took the 2-1 series lead. It looked like Indianapolis was going to take a 2-1 series lead, and that might have just flipped the whole momentum of the series. But yes, that was the game they stormed back and won to score 4-3 in overtime. They're going to have to pull off a miracle again, except in that game, they were on the road in hostile territory. In this game, they are at home. And it's not very often that you see the Washington Nationals in this sort of dangerous position. Obviously, it's still game number 1 and a long series ahead. But if they drop this one, they really need to win game number 2, or else they're heading back overseas to Tampere, Finland. And they're going to want to win 2 out of 2 on the road, and that's not easy to do.
Granted, it's a completely different pair of teams, but the Quebec City Bandits and St. Louis Cyclones proved just how long a series can be, as they went the full 7, and it looked from the moment of game 3 onward in that series, or at least game 4, like the St. Louis Cyclones were the favorite to win the series, and then just Quebec went on a winning streak and took them down to make it out of the first round.
Games 1 through 4 definitely should have gone St. Louis's way as we hit the end of period number 1. Score 3-0 for the Tampere Ilves. Shots are 8-5 in favor of the Washington Nationals. If you think about it, games 1 through 4, all of them should have been won by the St. Louis Cyclones, because don't forget they choked away a big lead in game number 1. I believe I think it was 3-1 for the Cyclones. And the Bandits stormed back and took that one 4-3 in regulation with a late goal. And were able to take game number 1. And the games 2, 3, and 4 were all won by the St. Louis Cyclones. So if you think about it, the Bandits are just lucky to be here right now in round number 2. Obviously not playing at this very moment, but it really should be St. Louis in their position right now. Kudos to them. They fought back in games 5, 6, and 7. And they've made it to round number 2.
I'll say
Face-off has begun.
Yeah,
go ahead.
One final thing to add to that. I think you're underselling the Quebec City Bandits game 1 a little bit. They were down 3-0 and came back to tie it.
Pardon me, yes.
So basically,
3-0, that's right.
They were in a very similar situation that the Nationals now find themselves in.
Yes, they were. And they didn't start scoring until early in the second. So you never know. I mean, it's completely possible that the Nationals get back into this one. They are on home ice. They have that momentum swing at any moment. But they got to get the crowd back into this game. This is the loudest they've been after they had a close chance to end the first period as the puck just slid right through the crease. Shots are 10-5 in favor of Washington. It's not like they're getting outplayed by any means. In fact, Tampere is probably getting outplayed. But the shots on goal are getting stopped at one end and not at the other. Marc-Andre Fleury showing once again that he is a Hall of Fame caliber goaltender. As the first 6 games of the season, if you remember back for the Ilves, they went 6-0. And Marc-Andre Fleury seemed to be like he was on a tear. He was your for sure Vezina Trophy winner. And then all of a sudden, Tampere went ice cold. They were after the 13-game mark. They were 6-1. It went on a 7-game skid following their 6-game winning streak to start the season. And they were able to get back into playoff contention, squeaked in as the 3rd seed, and they knocked off the Boston Riptide in round number 1, showing just how good that Tampere team is, as for a while they really weren't that good. And maybe another chance for the Ilves here as they tried to play it into the slot. Didn't have an opportunity there. Fired down by Washington, just wide of Vesa Toskala's cage. Dougie Hamilton behind the net. He'll fire it all the way down accidentally, just missing Darcy Kemper. Puck takes a good hop for Washington. Shot there, saved by Toskala. Toskala has been great as a backup for Tampere so far this year. When Fleury's looked shaky, Toskala has been able to come in and kind of hold the fort for this Tampere team. I'm not sure why Tampere took Fleury out, considering they had a great game going, as that puck will go through the boards and out of play. Had a great game going, was pitching an old goose egg to the Washington Nationals, but Toskala's in, and he's looked good so far here early in game number 1. Early in his stint, I should say. We've just passed the halfway point in period number 2. Shots 11-6, favoring the Washington Nationals. Score remains to be 3-0 for the Tampere Ilves. Puck all the way down the ice, hits the far end boards. Adam Larson is there. He brings it far side. DMP, I just realized you are on the wrong side of the ice. Alexander Radulov now in the corner. He gets knocked down.
I might be on the wrong side of the ice, but the camera's not.
Okay, fair enough. Played to neutral ice. Miro Heiskanen. He's got it. He plays it into the near corner. Sam Bennett now in behind the net. Orlov. He lost it. Fired right through the crease of Toshkal. He may have got a piece of that as he gets awarded with another shot on goal and another save. Tampere makes a safe defensive clearance. That one pops right into the crease. It's in the crease, cleared away. They did get a shot on Kemper, fired all the way down, just missed wide. Washington tried the old Tampere strat, just put it on the net like they have been all game, and maybe something good will happen. Nothing good has happened yet for the Washington Nationals.
Well,
the Ilves, they got another lucky one.
Sorry to jump on you there, but that was something that the Nats were doing a lot of in the last series against Indianapolis, was playing the puck from their own zone and just firing it down the ice and seeing where it goes. And that was working for them, but we haven't seen them do too much of that, and I wonder if they need to find their way back to that.
And I'm not wondering if it isn't because Tampere is defending against it. And like obviously these teams watch tape before they get into these series. Like, they know what each other's kind of going to do beforehand. Now, I'm surprised Washington isn't defending it, or I don't know, maybe if they are trying to defend it and they're just getting unlucky with hops off the boards. But the Ilves seem to be more prepared for this, especially the goaltenders. Toskala and Fleury have been great up to this point. Kemper, although he hasn't been switched out. Here's another chance for the Ilves. They score. Another opportunity, or another one of those cases where they just put it off the boards and put it on the net. Now it was tapped home by, I believe, Jesse Puljujärvi, and it's 4-0 for the Flying Finns.
That's just called following up on your rebound. Loose puck right in front of the net. Easy play for the Tampere Ilves. And just like that, Washington's in an even deeper hole.
We've seen teams come back from 3-0. I don't want to say often, but it does happen. 4-0 is a stretch, as once again Washington wins the faceoff, and they have been very dangerous off the draw. Numerous attempts, as that one goes up and out of play, numerous attempts putting it on the net, all stopped by the goaltending of the Tampere Ilves. Like DMP mentioned, that was a follow-up. They shot it right on. Another save comes to the side of the net. That one nearly took a lucky bounce for Washington as we've come to the end of this second. Score on the board is 4-0 in favor of the Tampere Ilves. Shots are 13-10, favoring the Washington Nationals. Like DNP had mentioned, that was just a follow-up. They took a shot off the far boards. It looked like it was just going to bounce right into the net. Ended up hitting the post and just kind of sat in the crease, and was an easy tap-in for Jesse Puljujärvi to give his team a 4-0 lead. Washington, we haven't seen this little pushback from this team. Usually if they concede a goal or two, they're able to push back and get back into the game. As there's another opportunity right off the draws, Marc-Andre Fleury has come back into the net for the Tampere Ilves. This Washington team has quite a bit of pushback when they concede a goal or two. They're always able to really get back into the game. That's what's been super impressive about this team over the last couple seasons, that without fail, they're able to fight their way back into the game. You really haven't seen that out of this team right now. Tampere is just kind of taking over the game. Yeah, Washington's getting their shots, as there's another one that graces the back of, once again, Vesa Toskala. He will get credited with another save. Game remains 4-0. Usually Washington has quite a bit of pushback over the last couple of years. They've shown that, and that's why they make it deep in the playoffs, because they're a team that even if you score 2 or 3, your lead very much so isn't safe. But so far in this one, Tampere, I don't know if it's the defense or I'm for sure it's the goaltending. And Toskala and Fleury have been fantastic in this one thus far. The Nats haven't been able to get anything going as that one goes up and out of play. And that's just unnat-like. The Nationals are usually setting the standard, but right now it's all Ilves. Cross the blue line, shot on. Ah, you were close. National, natural. Nah, you tried. Around the net it comes to the far side. To the right of toss, the puck exits the Tampere defensive zone. Across the blue line it comes. Josh Manson with a breakaway opportunity, broken up there by Bennett. There's Justin Schultz. As they fired all the way down the ice, a little too hard, comes back into their own zone. Around back of the net, to the left of Kemper's net. To the blue line and out. Justin Schultz had it across the blue line. He's now lost it. Pushes it through the boards and out of play. 13-15 remaining in our third stanza. 4-0 is your score. Shot right on. Saved there by Kemper. Rebound just goes wide. Washington, it isn't without trying why they're losing so bad. In fact, they're leading the shot category right now. It is very much so the goaltending. Darcy Kemper hasn't been able to come up big like he usually can. It's been all the Tampere Ilves goaltending. Marc-Andre Fleury and Vesa Toskala have been pitching an ace into what would, I guess, the equivalent of about the 7th inning here. With just 10 to go here in period number 3. Fired around to the far side to the blue line. Backlund couldn't hold it and shot down by Zub off the post. That's another thing with the Nationals. They just haven't had the puck luck that Tampere's had so far in this one. Behind the net, to the near side, Justin Schultz with it again. To the blue line, not able to get it out as the Ilves. Now it comes out of their defensive end. All the way down beyond the goal line to Darcy Kemper. Back to play it is Verona with Kuznetsov. They've lost it. Fired all the way down just wide of Toskala's net. Comes to Schultz. He chips it back into the corner through the slot to the far boards. Puljujärvi with it now. In the corner, they're able to chip it out. Takes a hop, comes right back to neutral ice. Chipped in by the Nationals. Into the far corner. Around back the net, now to the near side. Here's Jesse Puljujärvi. Teuvo Teravainen, he had an absolutely dominating round number 1 against Boston. Yet to get any of his DNA on the scoreboard yet, but I'm sure you will see his name at some point in this 7-game set. To the near side it comes. Barrett Hayton shot right on. Save once again by Toskala. May have gone off of Toskala to hit the post. You heard the ping of the bar, but it looked like that was mesh written right there. Orlov into the corner. He loses the puck. Batherson now has it. Had a little bit of time. Pesce centers the puck. Tried to find Teuvo Teravainen, who had lost his footing, and cleared down by the Nats. Off the far boards, comes back into their own end off the side of the net. Heiskanen is the first one there with Getzlav. The Nationals now are able to chip it out of their own end. Little bit of puck lock off the boards. Dougie Hamilton was the first man there. Duclair couldn't steer it on that. Behind the net it comes. Duclair, far boards. Now across the blue line to center ice. Here come the Ilves shot right on, saves, rebound, scores. Is it Puljujärvi? I believe it is. No, it might be Anthony. No, not Duclair. It might be Puljujärvi.
Looks like it's Heiskanen.
Might be Heiskanen. He got lifted up in the air. Yeah, it is Miro Heiskanen. He's faster.
And this is a 5-0 game.
I thought for a second, yes, Puljujärvi might have his second of the night. But Miro Heiskanen gets his first goal of round number 2. And the Ilves just put the final nail in the coffin of game number 1. It is 5-0 with just over 2 minutes to play here in our final period. Now, if you're Washington, you're just playing for respect. You just don't want to get, I'm not going to say the word for Tampere fans, peace of mind, but you know what I'm talking about. Kasperi Kapanen into the corner. Out it comes. Around back the net. Comes sliding all the way down. Blocked there by Carlson. And an important one. That might have made it 6-0. The way that puck was sliding. And the luck that Tampere is getting today, it would not surprise me. Down the ice it comes across center. 13, now 10 to go in game number 1. And it is over. The Tampere Ilves have pitched a perfect game. It is a 5-0 shutout in hostile territory. The Ilves have taken game number 1 of this one. And in a series that is so important to take the first game, in an arena that is so important to take the first game against the Washington Nationals, you got to take at least one of the two on the road, and they've done that. They pitched just about a perfect game. Toskala and Fleury were beyond perfect. You couldn't beat them. One-timers, shots off the face-off. You weren't beating the Tampere goaltending tonight, and it showed. 5-0 is your final.
Well, the Tampere Ilves are one win closer to the prerequisite 12. They now have 5 under their belt. We'll see if the Washington Nationals have a response to try and split things at home, or if the Ilves are going to try and go back to home ice with 2 games under their belt and a chance to potentially sweep this series and end it on home ice. One thing that you pointed out earlier in this game was the fact that they switched from Marc-Andre Fleury to Vesa Toskala, and I was thinking at the time the score was 3-0. Well, yes, Marc-Andre Fleury had a good game going. I almost wonder if their coach was thinking, we're already in a position where we could win this game. Why don't we rest him up so he's good to go for next game?
Yeah, maybe, and honestly, maybe they were just resting them up. Maybe they were switching them like they were switching lines with their forwards, right? Keep both guys fresh. Whatever they did, it worked, because those two goalies played spectacular tonight. 17 saves between them, compared to the other end. Darcy Kemper only made 12 on 17 shots. At the end of the day, Tampere did come back on the shot sheet. They were able to tie that back up, and it wasn't even close. Washington got it completely outclassed tonight.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Yes, they did get completely demolished on the scoreboard, but I would say for a fair amount of that game, chances went the way of Washington. They had, at the end of that first period, I think shots were like 8-5. Washington.
I will say that my only rebuttal is a lot of their shots came off the face-off. Like they were just getting that one quick chance off the draw, and the goalie was making the save. I wouldn't say it's super high danger. We do see goals like that quite a bit, but not a lot of them were super high danger. I feel like their shot total was sort of, I don't want to say boosted, but I don't want to say they were patting their stats, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like they had those high danger opportunities. Like Tampare's fourth goal, when they shot, or fourth or fifth goal, and they shot it down low and they tapped it in. Like there was nothing like that from Washington. There wasn't really much pushback in the offensive zone.
Sure, there weren't as many quality chances, but there are still chances nonetheless for Washington. They just couldn't get past the goaltending or the defense of the Ilves, and factor that into the scoreboard. Tampere Ilves win 5-0 off goals from Jari Kurri, Josh Manson, Brett Pesci, Jesse Puljujärvi, and Miro Heiskanen. And they look strong for Game 2. We'll see what happens then.
We will see what happens then, and until next time, we thank you for watching. Our next broadcast will be the Lille Nice Fencers facing the Quebec City Bandits in Lille Nice, France. The Battle of the French goes down in this PPG Paints Conference side of round number 2. We thank you for watching. From DMP, I have been Builder. We will see you next time for game number 1 between the Fencers and the Bandits.